I'm Tim Scallon, registered dietitian.
And I'm Manny Marini, executive chef.
And welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations. Here we are at the Polk Education Center kitchen, and we're back here in your home learning some culinary and nutrition tips that make our holidays fun.
Yeah, and this will be a fun one.
Yeah?
Yeah, because our menu for this show will be a nice pumpkin chowder.
Ooh,
so that's nice,
good.
you know.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do a nice turkey breast.
Okay.
Stuffed turkey breast, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna top it off with a oatberry tart. What do you think about that? So it's simple recipes, but fun. And
it sounds expensive.
And it's not. It's,
okay.
You know,
Chef Manny, since you remember last year when we did we did a show where we did pumpkin everything, and you did that garlic braised beef with pumpkin. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Okay, so after that show, it's like I started seeing these recipes for pumpkin everywhere and how nutritious pumpkin was, and so. Do you think maybe we started a trend there?
Well, I hope so. I love pumpkin, but there's so many things that you can do with pumpkin.
So maybe everybody across the nation is watching Memorial Cooking Innovations as we explore this fun with food and nutrients, huh?
That's great.
Okay, show us what to do with this pumpkin.
A couple of little things on these pumpkins. These are really nice size.
Yeah.
Right now, you can buy them in the market. They're not that big, you know, Halloween pumpkin. These are those nice smaller ones.
Yeah.
Two ways of doing it. One is we can, wash it really good, and we're going to peel it, all right? And then core the inside, and then dice it up. We're going to make our soups.
Okay.
Another way, because it is kind of tough, another way to do it would be wash it really good and then bake it. Bake it in the oven. Give it yourself about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Okay. And then pull it out. Let it cool off a little bit, and then you can go ahead and
okay, what
peel
temperature? 350?
350, 325. You know what I mean? Now, you don't want it too hot, but it helps.
It just softens
it up a little bit, so it's easier to peel.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know what I mean? So.
Okay.
So we're going to do this.
You're just going to do it the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way. We're going to, first of all, slowly, because it seems to roll off. So you really want to have a steady motion. And we're going to just cut the bottom of it, okay?
And this is something I've learned from you, that you always say to create a flat surface.
Always
so it doesn't get away from you.
Now, if you have a core like, the stem here, just grab it, and we're just going to cut it in 3 ways, okay?
Okay. All right. So you've made it so that it's easy to cut.
Yes.
Okay. And this is something that I learned from you. I never knew what to do with a pumpkin. And so,
like I said, there's so much that we can do with the pumpkin.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to grab one of these spoons right here. I'm going to grab this little spoon right here.
Okay.
No, this is better.
Okay.
And we're just going to core this. Just take the seeds off. And you know what? We're going to bake these seeds, huh?
Okay.
There's nothing better than pumpkin seeds. So
actually, when you're looking at nutritional analysis of both pumpkin and the seeds, hey, this is a nutrition powerhouse. The pumpkin itself is very high in carotenoids, and remember, carotenoids. If you read our article in the paper, carotenoids are those color pigments in food. In this case, that give the pumpkin the orange flavor. The orange color. And carotenoids are powerful antioxidants that they balance out these molecules that are called free radicals. And these are really nasty molecules that are go through and damage cell membranes. They cause our skin to wrinkle. They cause hardening of the arteries to start. These are things that are natural aging process, but these free radicals offset that. It's like nature's way. So
we're going to roast these later on, okay?
Okay.
That's for our little snack later.
Okay, that sounds good. All right.
So now I'm just going to peel these real quick. Now there's a couple of ways to do it. I could have just left it alone like this and just went around and, but I am going to cut these in half.
You're just going to make it easier
a lot easier
to manage.
for me to manage. And one of the things that also makes it easier, because you know how strong, you really have to go around so you don't get tired. Well, just take your time. Take your time.
And also, just a safety tip, you want your knife to be good and sharp.
Oh, definitely.
It's the dull knife that cuts us. It's not the sharp one.
Definitely. So
you don't want to have to struggle with that.
Just go around the edges. Guide yourself. You can see that. So just guide yourself and take your time. Yeah. There's no hurry.
And last year when you showed us how to do this, I thought, because I always wanted to know what to do with a pumpkin, I had some left over. I put it in the freezer. And
how did it come out?
Well, it was good. In fact, I was thinking...
It holds real good, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, in fact, a month ago, maybe a little longer ago, I saw that pumpkin in the freezer, and I thought, I've got to go back and make that garlic braised beef with pumpkin that we did last October. And, you know, it was as good this time as it was when you made it.
You know, Tim, I ran into a couple of viewers and at the store, and they always said, you know, some of your recipes we can do over and over and over and don't get tired of it, which, you know, I appreciate that.
You know, that's when we know that we're doing what we want to do, because, you know, the fun of Memorial Cooking Innovations is you're taking real food, and with you here, we're turning it into art. And I love that.
I'm going to put the pot here.
Okay, so we're getting our soup ready here.
Yeah, and what we're going to do, here's my little knife, we're just going to grab a little bit of butter and let it melt a little bit here.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're going to add our diced onions, which I have right here.
All right.
So we're going to go ahead and just sweat the onions.
Okay. All right, and when you say sweat the onions, I think we've talked about that, but that's kind of a technical chef term. So basically what you mean there is you just want these onions to begin to soften a little bit.
Soften a little bit, release some of that flavor, natural flavor.
And you'll smell that. Whenever these onions start to smell, that's when they're ready.
They're ready to go.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so right now I'm just dicing the pumpkin,
just
okay?
Basically putting this into bite-sized pieces. And you know, a rule of thumb when you're making a stew or a soup, you generally it's make everything about the same size. And like in this case, you want it to fit in a spoon. Or if it's a stew, you know, technically it would be bigger pieces.
Exactly.
But this is starting to smell good.
It is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to add our nice little pumpkin. So we're going to go ahead and let this cook up a little bit. Then we'll add our celery.
Okay.
A little bit of celery.
You know, the holidays always, talking about Mom, the holidays always make me think of Mom and Dad and being home. You know, we always had a bunch of people around. There was a big meal, and, you know, Mom, there would always be all these relatives who'd drop in, and what this really meant is, okay, more loads of towels to wash, sheets to wash, and you never heard her complain. It was like the more the merrier.
Exactly.
It's a good memory, good holiday memory.
Beautiful. So,
okay, so you got a saute going
here
here is what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to release all those flavors there.
Notice how many times on this show we saute. It's a wonderful way to blend flavors in a small amount of fat.
Got a little diced tomato, okay? Fresh diced tomato.
All right.
If you got an extra can of diced tomato at home, why not?
Okay. So you could use the canned dice.
Yeah, fresh, but fresh is better.
Well, actually, you know, some people ask, tilt that up so they can see it there at home. Actually, oops, don't tilt it quite that much.
Let me get these out of the way. It's hot.
You know, there's sometimes a feeling among people, among lay people, that canned is not as good as fresh, and generally I would agree with that. But you know, tomatoes might be.
I'm gonna go right behind you, okay?
Okay.
If you talk.
Yeah, you want me? Okay. When they can tomatoes, they're right there. The cannery is near where the tomatoes are grown, and they're canned at the peakness of flavor. And so canned tomatoes, from a nutrition perspective, are actually as good as the tomatoes in the grocery store. So is it coming together?
It is.
All right. Okay.
So once we get all that, remember me personally, I like to add my garlic.
You want that garlic at the end.
I am going to add a little bit of garlic to it.
Okay. All right. Good.
The recipe also calls for a little fresh thyme, which we have here.
Okay.
We're just going to, we could do two things. The recipe calls for some, you know, diced, chopped, or, you know, we could do two things. We could actually stick this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stick this, because we're going to pull it out later,
okay? Okay, so you're just going to put this in for the soup.
For the soup, okay?
Okay.
So we'll stick our thyme to
get some flavor. That's a little different. Now, see, I would have taken that and pulled it off the stems.
We could. I'm going to get the flavor. A lot of the leaves are going to fall off, and we'll just pull the twigs off,
you're just showing us another way to do it.
A different way to kind of use your...
Good.
Okay, to give some flavor.
Well, you know, it's all about learning. That's what's so fun about this show. Food is really about learning.
And then we're going to add our vegetable broth, right?
Yeah. And this is a low-sodium vegetable broth. You can get this at Brookshire Brothers. Brookshire's is one of our sponsors of the show.
And how much do we put? We put enough to cover and to bring to a simmer or a nice soft boil, and then we'll lower it down a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to add our half and half.
Our half and half, and here again, as we've used in past shows, we're using a fat-free half and half.
Fat-free half and half, and we'll just let it thicken up itself.
And we get that at the dairy counter at Brookshire's. I mean, that's where you find that. Yeah, and other grocery stores have it too. Our friends at Brookshire's, you know, we're always glad that they're sponsoring the show. So, okay, so you've got your soup coming along.
It's coming along really good. So now I'm just going to add the cream.
Okay.
All right, and we'll let it simmer for a little bit. We'll add a little bit of, it calls for a little pinch of salt and pepper, and we'll add that last, okay? Because we want to get all the natural flavors.
Well, and I want to tell the viewers a trick here. Now, actually, if I were doing this at home, now Chef Manny is the expert here, and every time he does this, it works every time. But now, if I was doing this, I would have taken out a little bit of that hot soup, put it in a separate bowl, and mixed some of that half and half. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I were to do what you just did, it would have cracked.
It would have separated on me.
Yeah, that cold milk hitting that hot soup. But for some reason, you've just got the touch, and it works for you. Now, our recipe, when you go online and you download this recipe, it'll tell you how to do that.
Exactly. And that's what we're just going to let it simmer. Okay. So. You know, now we can get started on our turkey.
Okay.
We're going to start with the dressing. Okay. We're going to pull it to the side so we can work on the turkey and then stuff it. Mm-hmm. We're going to sear it off, finish it in the oven. Okay. And then we'll work on the dessert, and all of a sudden everything's put together. That's something quick and easy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of butter to our pan. We're going to sweat our onions and our celery.
So same procedure as what we did. Okay.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. You know, sometimes Chef Manny's little bit is a little bit more than Dietitian Tim's little bit.
Well, yeah, it is. And you're teaching me that part of it.
Well, that's right. That's right. And it's okay because, you know, the holidays are not normal time. You know, holidays is when it's okay to use a little bit more. Now, dietitian friends out there, you all know that our analysis that goes with our recipes, when you go online and you download the recipes, that's based on these measurements. So the little bit that the dietitian uses is what your analysis is based on.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and dice up my onions.
Okay.
As my butter melts a little bit. Okay.
Notice how he cut that onion so he's got two flat surfaces.
Safety first.
So you did the same thing as with that pumpkin. You
exactly.
just made it so that you can work with it a little easier. And you know, these are some of these basics that sometimes we didn't learn from Mom in the kitchen, you know. It's like
I guess we learned it the hard way, right? When it slips and falls and stuff like that. Just always be careful. And now one thing I always tell the staff is the knife won't cut you. You'll cut yourself.
Yeah.
So always pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So should be watching what you're cutting, not who you're talking to.
Exactly. And, you know, take your time. Yeah. Like I said, cooking is fun. Yeah. Enjoy everything that you do.
Yeah.
Try to get the family together and help out and make it fun.
It's what the holidays is all about, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, every time that I cut an onion, it never quite comes out as good as when he does. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a chef thing or what. But, you know, I'm learning that the more I practice, the better I get at it.
So now we're just going to saute these onions nice and hot.
Now this is the part that really throws me. I tried that one time in my kitchen. I had onions all over everywhere.
You know, one thing I tell everybody, because they always ask me, how can y'all do this? The way I learned was a nice wet rag. Put a wet rag on just on a regular saute pan. Okay. And just try to flip it. And just, it's all in the wrist, just back and forth. You know what I mean? Okay. And just practice, you know, back and forth.
And then when it starts to brown, you know it's done.
It's done.
Okay.
So when we're doing omelets at home or just sauteing anything, it's perfect.
It's just that a browned rag just doesn't work very good in many dishes.
No, it doesn't. And don't wait for your rag to turn brown either. Yeah, I mean, this is out away from the fire. It's just a hand movement. Okay, so we're going to sweat it down a little bit. We're going to add the celery. Okay. It calls for a little cranberry, huh? Yeah. Nice little color, little flavor.
Notice how we're using seasonal foods in this recipe. You know, it's the holidays, it's the wintertime. We have cranberries, we have walnuts, we have pumpkin seeds. And not only are you eating seasonally here, not only are you introducing some interesting variety, but this packs a walloping nutrition punch.
It is. This is fun. And this is something that, you know, most of us have at home.
You know, walnuts.
I mean, we just did the pumpkin.
Yep.
You know, we could roast them in the oven real quick and, you know, pull them out, you know, seed them and add it at the last minute. Or maybe we can add the pumpkin seeds with the sauce, because that'll give you enough time.
Well, and, you know, pumpkin seeds unsalted, you can find those usually at a grocery store. Sometimes you may have to go to a health food store to get them unsalted. You can get them salted in the grocery store.
You can.
Yeah.
Let me get my spoon real quick.
Yeah. Walnuts actually have an ingredient in them that helps our blood vessels to relax, and so walnuts would improve our blood pressure. They're also a source of an omega-3 fatty acid, which is good for heart health.
Good.
So.
Now that we've sweated our vegetables,
This just looks beautiful.
It does, doesn't it? Nice and colorful.
Yeah. Smells good. I wish you could be here to smell this.
It does. You can smell the onion, the garlic.
You know, if you come to the Memorial Cooking Lives, we call it MCI Live show. We do that the third Thursday of every month here at the hospital. You can smell all these smells.
This is a little fresh sage.
Okay.
Traditionally, or something like this.
Goes good in a dressing.
It goes good in a dressing.
Yeah.
It's used in a lot of Italian dishes.
Yeah.
So we're going to just go ahead and add that.
And you know, one thing I've learned, of course, Chef Manny, this spring I got my herb garden going because I was working with you, and we were always using these fresh herbs, and I'd always wanted to do an herb garden, real easy thing to do. I've learned that the fresh herbs you can use more than the dried.
Right.
You know, like if you were using dried herb, you wouldn't use near that much sage in this dish.
On the breadcrumbs, I just, you know, wheat bread, day old, just throw in the oven about, I don't know, 150 degrees for a few hours, let it dry, you know, and then just crumble it up.
You're just drying it out, is all.
That's just drying it out.
Okay. Kind of like making a slow toast, you might say.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Or make a few extra toast, you know.
Okay, that'd be another thing. Could you just put it in a toaster? Would that work?
Yeah.
And then pull it out and then just crumble it up?
Crumble it up, because, you know, you can chop it up.
It probably would work better in the oven because it might go a little slower. I don't know. I don't know that.
So now we did this. Now we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of our broth.
And I'm going to pull this thyme out of this soup. I think he's ready. Let's put him right here. Ooh, that sure is smelling good. And our directions say just to set this aside and let it absorb the
flavors,
broth.
The broth, it'll thicken up by itself. We're just going to go ahead and mix it a little bit, okay?
Yeah. And then...
because this is what our stuffing is all about. Now that we got our nice turkey, one thing that we need to talk about is turkey safety.
Yes. Okay, so...
and turkey and chicken, you know,
I was going to say, any poultry we always handle as if it has salmonella. And what that means basically is temperature control. You keep it in the refrigerator to thaw it. You don't thaw outside. You also, whenever you're working on a surface, you notice that Chef Manny turned his board over.
Yeah.
And so, in other words, once you're done with this cutting on this surface, you don't want to use that surface for something else. Then you take that board and you put it in the dishwasher. In the kitchen here at the hospital, we have meat cutting boards, and we have
different boards for everything.
Yeah.
At home, just make sure that when you use something, especially raw meat, wash it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I just flip mine around a little bit, but I just want to share that. Another thing, one of the things that, as I cut this off real quick, let me put my turkey back.
And this is a turkey breast, and so you can get this in the grocery store.
I'm gonna wash my hands real quick.
Yeah, but back to turkey safety, so you don't cross-contaminate with other foods. Then you're going to cook the turkey or any poultry to an internal temperature of about 170. If you're cooking a whole bird, go by the directions on the bird. It'll tell you what to do.
And whenever you take temperatures on it, make sure you pick the thickest part.
Thick. Yeah,
you know, not just on the bottom, on the wing, on the just
you want
the
something
thickest
inside. You want what they
you
call
want to get the
internal.
center of it, the internal, which means the center of.
Yes, an internal temperature.
Okay. So what I have here is my turkey.
Yep.
And then I have a little plastic. Remember we talked about it?
Yes.
The reason why we kind of cover it with plastic so we don't have turkey all over or chicken or
all over the
floor. So I'm going to leave my knife right there. And
the cat would love that.
That would. I got a nice little meat mallet. What we're going to do is just pound it a little bit. Pardon the noise, but we'll get this done real fast. And this is fun. I mean, we could do, you know, the whole turkey. We can do the whole portion, or we're just gonna do one for right now.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're gonna actually put a little bit of olive oil to get it nice and hot.
Right. Good.
Because all we're really gonna do is just sear it.
And then the only other thing we didn't mention about turkey safety is leftovers. You always store. You want to cool things as soon as you can. Store them at a refrigerated temperature.
See, here's our stuffing, and this is gonna be so good.
Okay.
So we're just gonna stuff the, you know, typically you would have the stuffing on the outside, and you know, but this time we're actually gonna just roll it. Now, there's a couple of ways that we can, where's my little rag? Here's my rag. That we can, I guess seal it would be with a toothpick.
Okay.
Tie it down. Okay. Or like what I have here, we're just gonna lay it right here and just kind of sear it.
You're just
really
gonna kind of sear the bottom, aren't you?
Sear the bottom, and we're just gonna turn it, and then we're gonna finish it in the oven.
Okay. All
And
right.
then once we get it out of the oven, we're gonna pull it out, make our sauce real quick, which is the gravy or our sauce that we want to do, which will be a nice. It'll be the flavor of the turkey as well.
Okay.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in the oven real quick. Okay, Tim? And we got our oven at 350. Because we pounded it nice and thin, it won't take that long to cook.
Yeah. Maybe 15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
We'll pull it out. We'll set it up on the plate, and then we'll make the gravy real quick.
And when you're at home, you check the internal temperature. You want to make sure the temperature inside that stuffing is 170 degrees. Okay.
So let me get this out of the way, and as the turkey's cooking, we can't make the sauce real quick, but we can get started on the dessert.
Okay, good.
The dessert is so easy.
Okay.
And I mean, you know, it's just easy.
All right.
And you're like,
if it's easy,
you like
I can
whisking.
do it. I love to whisk. You know me.
So
I'm a whisker.
I do have the vanilla sugar-free.
Sugar-free, fat-free pudding. So let's get that going. Okay.
And I got your milk.
Yep. Need 2 cups of milk.
It calls for 2 cups, so I have these little.
Okay.
This would be a half a pint.
Yep. Okay.
So if you don't mind doing that, and then what I'm gonna do is I am gonna roast.
So we're using a fat-free milk here.
Fat-free milk. We're just gonna roast these oats, rolled oats. And the recipe is pretty simple. Just keep an eye on it, because you know, once they start getting hot, they will roll. So again, we're just gonna roast them nice and add a little bit of honey.
And you know, when we were developing this recipe, I was surprised that you'd put oats just in a dry skillet and then add honey to it. It made me think, gosh, isn't that going to stick? But you'll see how this comes together.
Comes together really good. And then we're going to add our honey. This is good. And it's looking good, huh?
Yep.
And then what you do is just refrigerate it for about 5 minutes, huh? And it'll thicken up, it'll harden up itself.
Yep.
And again, these are looking good.
Yep. And see, what you're really going to do with this, which I find just fascinating, is that once we get this hardened up, you want to stick that in the fridge?
That looks good.
Okay. What we're going to do with this is, now see, I can't do that quite the way you do, but okay, give it back to the master here.
This is good right here.
Okay.
We're just going to turn off the heat.
And this is going to become the bottom of the of our dessert. It's going to be like a nice little toasty crust.
Yeah. Tim, what do you think? They're looking good, huh?
Ooh, it's looking great.
Okay, now your pudding is there. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull all turkey. Oh, look at that. That looks nice.
Smells
wonderful. Beautiful. Can you close that for me, Tim?
Yep.
Very nice.
Okay. Okay, so you want this one.
Yeah, you asked me about the sauce, so I'm going to show you how we're going to do. I'm going to pull this to the side here.
Okay.
This is still on, so we're just getting it real hot again. And what I want to do with the sauce would be, there's a little bit of butter here. We're going to add a little bit of flour, because this is going to be our gravy, okay?
Okay.
With just a little bit of flour. We just want it to thicken up.
Yeah.
With it, a little bit of olive oil and the oils from the vegetables.
Basics of any sauce is your fat and your thickener and your liquid. So
we're just going to skim that off a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now while you do that, I'm going to dip this soup up.
Oh, perfect. Now, on the soup, on the recipe, it calls for optional jalapenos.
Oh, yes. We want to talk about that.
So if you want yours a little spicy, I got 2 suggestions. One, make sure you wear some gloves when cutting up jalapeno, because anything you touch will burn.
It gets on your eye, you bet.
You know.
That's right.
Another one would be to just score the jalapenos, drop it in the soup, and then pull it out a couple of minutes or so.
Okay.
You know, just something like this. Just throw it in there like I did. We did the fresh herbs.
Okay.
And then just pull it out.
Okay.
So you have the flavor.
And not too hot.
Not too hot.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'll get this ready while you finish the sauce. Ooh, this is beautiful.
It's really nice looking soup.
The aromas here are just incredible. Okay, so you've
then
got.
We're going to add the cranberries.
Okay.
A little garnish. If you want, we can add a little more of your
walnuts.
Okay. You know, because we're just going to put this on top of the turkey.
Okay. All right.
And how about the little pumpkin seeds? Huh?
And definitely some parsley, huh?
Oh, definitely. We'll put a pinch of parsley at the end.
Parsley goes good in a sauce. It goes good in a soup.
It's only, you know, it's good for color. It's good for just about anything we want to do here. So we're just going to stir this. So we have that going. Okay, I got mine. Thickened up good. We'll add a little more juice to it.
Yeah. Make it a little thinner.
Nice and colorful.
Because you're looking for a thin sauce here. You don't want it to be too thick.
Thick and lumpy. So
yeah, yeah.
This is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Nice hot. Look at this.
Ooh, that is beautiful.
You put a little bit more.
Beautiful.
How's that, huh?
Beautiful.
You want to put it right over here? So
yeah.
Let me get these 2 things out of the way. Let me get this out of the way. We have our soups right here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I bet that pudding's ready. You think?
I bet it is. And this is one of those fun desserts, huh?
So we're going to take just a few of these, put them in the bottom. They're kind of sticky. You may have to have actually 2 spoons to work this with, but we'll make it work. Just nice little bottom crust there. Okay.
Got the spoon over there?
Yeah, this is ready. I'm going to spoon that in.
Then we're going to top it with some blueberries. Again, we talked about berries. Right now, they're all over in the market. We got raspberry blueberries.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, isn't that? And you know, if you wanted to take a little mint leaf, you could just stick a little mint leaf in there.
And I brought you some.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
Yeah, I brought a couple of mint leaves right here.
Just kind of adds a
little color, a little pizzazz.
Yeah, a little flag there. Yeah. All right. And so we're ready to celebrate the holidays. You know, maybe we should taste this just to make sure it's good.
Definitely taste it.
Okay.
How is that, huh? Is that a nice little pumpkin flavor?
I'm tasting the holidays here. Okay, family is here. Okay, so what's the chef cooking for the holidays this time?
Traditionally in my house, my dad doesn't eat turkey.
Yeah, okay.
But some of the family, so I was thinking about doing this. This will be fun to do, right?
Yes.
And I know I got plenty of volunteers at home. But normally at home we have gnocchis, cannellonis, you know, typical Italian. Yeah. We do have 3 or 4 pastas, and you know, one of the hit salads at home is that avocado, tomato, onion we did.
Yes.
Goes good with anything,
wonderful.
Right?
Yeah.
Any time of the year, so that's basically ours. Well, lots of French bread, and have fun, and enjoy your family.
Does that not sound good? So we've got people around us, we've got family, we've got these whole foods, and nutrition, health. We're ready for another holiday.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we'll see you the next time as we continue to explore the fun of foods and flavors.